TGIF. Happy Friday, happy Friday. Happy Friday, happy Friday. TGIF to the people. Good evening. Today is Friday, July 17th, 2026. Time is now 8:01 p.m. So I am back with another episode of Freedom Fridays. I'm your host, Docfreshlove, aka Eddie D. Love CPC, aka the Millennial Influencer. I got a few other nicknames I won't tap into. If you know some of my other nicknames, type them in the comments. Peace and love. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a great week. Just came to unpack, came to unwind as we conclude week 5. We are concluding week 5 of the Breaking the Poverty Cycle Challenge. And as you know, Freedom Fridays is where we take a moment to decompress, to recap on the week. The main focus is to help you break free from the mental, emotional, financial, and spiritual barriers that you've been dealing with and that have been preventing you from reaching your goals. So I thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking this ride, especially if you've been part of the challenge for the past 5 weeks. I really, really do appreciate you for taking part in that. So thank you very much. All right. So just to kick things off, we always like to start with the opening question. So again, welcome to those of you who are just joining. And if you're interacting with the video or with this content at a later date, if you're watching a replay, so feel free to interact. Feel free to comment in the chat. Of course, message me, reach out to me on social media. I'm always accessible if you want to recap, ask questions, or if you have content that you would like for me to discuss on these weekly meetings. I'll be glad to touch on certain things or topics that you guys provide. So shout out to the people joining. See one of my LBs on there, Brother McCray. Peace and love, peace and blessings. Welcome, welcome. So my opening question for you guys today is, what would you do differently if you knew you couldn't fail? So type in the comments, what would you do differently if you knew that you couldn't fail? So that is the question of the day. What would you do differently if you knew you couldn't fail? And one of my favorite quotes is from Dorothea Brand. If you've been watching since week 1, you might have heard me mention her. Dorothea Brand is a great author. And the quote that I love from Dorothea Brand is, act as if it were impossible to fail. Think about that for a moment. Act as if it were impossible to fail. So if you went out every day with a sense of fearlessness, peace, Brother Pritchard. You've been rocking with me the past few weeks. I appreciate you, brother. I'm looking at the comments now. Be the Lord of the world. What would you do differently if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do with that type of power, right? When you really think about it, that's what this whole mindset challenge is all about. Because when you think about your mind, you got your subconscious, your conscious, your superconscious. Your mind is really a genie. It really is a lamp that you can rub and get a wish granted. But you got to put in work. It's not just about rubbing the lamp. You got to put in some work if you're going to get the outcome. And that's what we really are talking about right now. We're talking about reprogramming, deprogramming your mind, because a lot of us have inherited some bull crap. Let's just be honest. You say the first 10 years of your life is how you socialize. It's how your mindset is shaped. It's how your values, your morals, your standards, what you stand for. All these things are shaped with or without your control. A lot of it is inadvertently or indirectly because your parents or whoever is your caretaker, that's who's raising you. That's who you're around. That's who's exposing you to different environments. And your environment does shape how you think. It does shape the type of adult that you become. Some of us need to deprogram. Some of us need to reprogram. I had to. And I still do. Sometimes we find ourselves in certain situations or certain points in life or phases in life where we get comfortable. You get comfortable. And that's the definition of stagnation. You're not moving forward. You're treading water. So that's what this mindset challenge is all about. So again, I asked the chat, what would you do differently if you knew you couldn't fail? Type in the chat. That's the question of the night. What would you do differently if you knew you couldn't fail? And the other question that we always want to ask on Friday is, what are you releasing? It's been a long week. A lot going on in the news, a lot going on in the media, social media, negativity all around us. It's hot outside. Gas prices up. It's not all bad, right? We're alive. We're breathing. You woke up today. That was my quote this morning. Thank God. We forget sometimes to just be thankful for being alive, for being able to wake up and breathe and open our eyes. So many people didn't make it. A lot of people wanted to be here. You know, there's people that lost their life today that may have had plans for tonight. They had outfits laid out, outfits in their closet, hanging up that they were going to wear at the end of July and in August and in September, but they're not here with us today. So we have to take advantage of these opportunities every single day because your mind is really a genie. You got a genie in a magic lamp. So I'm trying to give you some skills and some tips just to remind you to rub it. And what I mean by rub it is put in that elbow grease, rolling your sleeves up. Let's do some work. Let's get busy. Let's learn. Let's grow. Let's serve God, our community, our families, the children, the youth. This is a part of me serving. I serve in many different ways, sometimes when I don't have the capacity to serve. And this is one of those things. It's me giving back, me planting a good seed. You know, that's one thing that we have to always remember as well. So just like a farmer, when a farmer plants a seed, the farmer's not going back every week, digging up that spot, disturbing the evolutionary process of what's happening with that seed. No, he just water it. Give it sunlight. Allow photosynthesis to happen. So you joining tonight, it's not just in vain. You're giving sunlight to your mind. You're watering those seeds that you planted. So we just got to keep watering and keep giving it sunlight. And that sunlight is the knowledge, it's the information. It's the positive attitude, positive environments, positive people and surroundings. What type of networking events you going to? Are you going to any networking events? Are you volunteering your time? These are all seeds that we should be focused on, okay? So over the past few weeks, we've been talking about a lot of different things. We discussed the 3 layers of behavioral change. which came to us from Atomic Habits, because we've been talking about habits and systems, a lot of different things over these past few weeks. But James Clear talked to us about the layers of behavioral change, which are number one, identity, which is what do you believe? Number two, processes, what you do. Number three is outcomes. So if you think about that, what you believe, what you do, and what you get, these are all things that help determine behavioral change. And ultimately, we want better results. And we want identity-based habits, right? We want it to become a belief, a system. So we're moving past goals and just accomplishing the result or accomplishing that one thing. We're changing systems. We're changing belief systems. That's why I keep going back to how you were raised and your subconscious mind, because in order to bring about the change that we want to see, the positive change and the growth, and create a new identity-based habit or system, we got to start with the root. So, of course, on Friday, I'm not going to hold you too long. I know we just wanted to make sure that we touch on a few things and recap from the week. And just ask the crowd, what are you releasing? So what are you releasing? What are you letting go of? What are you letting go of this week? Type in the chat, type in the comments. What are you releasing this week? And if I repeat mine, if you hear me say the same thing week after week, it's because I'm still focused on that. I'm still consciously eradicating that behavior or that bad habit. So what I'm releasing this week is I'm releasing fear. So we're coming back to that one. We said fear is false emotions appearing real. It hasn't happened in most cases. Or it's something that happened that traumatized you that you just need to get past and you need to get rid of. Which means you might need to get therapy. You might need to go to counseling. You might need a life coach that's on board with you. Put them on retainer. But you got to work on yourself. You got to do the work. So what are you releasing? Well, I'm releasing fear. So once again, and it makes me think about the book by 50 Cent. I don't know if you guys read 50 Cent's book, The 50th Law. I'm a big fan of Robert Greene. Robert Greene wrote The 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction, several other books. But one book that Robert Greene wrote with 50 Cent was The 50th Law. And the 50th law basically talks about fearless, how to be fearless. And if you look at where 50 Cent is right now in life, being shot 9 times, going through everything that he went through with the record industry, trying to break into the record industry, then finally getting a deal with Shady Aftermath, Eminem put him on. And we saw what he did. He built an empire, still going, from entertainment to movies. Vitamin water deal. That vitamin water deal is what set him off the most. But you have to be fearless. We cannot walk around with fear. False emotions appearing real. You got to get rid of it. I don't fear no man. I'm not afraid of anything. I will climb the mountain. I just climbed the mountain. I had climbed Crowder's Mountain recently. Had a great time climbing Crowder's Mountain with my brothers. Negative people. My brother, peace and love, Brother Munley. Negative people. We're releasing them. We're letting them go. But check out that book if you get a chance, because when we talk about being fearless, so many people have gifts, have skills, have talents, qualifications, degrees, sitting on talent. Sitting on talent. They say the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard, because it's full of ideas, full of talent. Unpacked, untapped. So if you got a dream, if you're passionate about something, unlock it. Start building your team. Start working on yourself, taking those steps. But then you start building your team up. Build those like-minded individuals. Part of what I'm doing right now is I'm building my tribe. All the people that's rocking with me right now on this live is going to be the same people rocking with me when they see me on that stage, whatever platform. I used to say Oprah, but Oprah been acting real questionable lately. There's been a lot of different moves that's been happening that I don't quite agree with from old O. She cool. She still cool. But I really don't like that Whitney Houston thing. I don't like how Oprah brought up Whitney Houston being on drugs and talking about she fell off the stage. If you wanted to protect her integrity and if you wanted to protect her name and you know, you would still be doing that now. Send me my flowers, man. Look, I want my flowers while I'm alive. I want my flowers when I'm gone. And if I'm not in that room, if you really rocking with me, if you're really a part of my tribe, you're going to ride for me. That's integrity. And what Oprah did, talking about Whitney Houston fell off the stage, and I don't like that, man. You don't flip-flop just because they ain't in the room. I'm not flip-flopping just because you're not in my presence or because you're not here no more. Everybody that know me gonna say the same thing about me. You know why? Because who I am is in here. It's in here. So it's a mindset. So I'm going to give you some more on fearlessness, okay? I'm going to give you this on fearlessness, and then I'm going to give you the chess move for this week, the action item that I want you to focus on from Escape from Poverty. First book, published 11 years ago, available on Amazon, Borders, Barnes & Noble. Reach out to me. I got copies for you. I can personalize and autograph those copies for you, but I'll give you chess move number 8. And before I do that, because I want to end with that, let me give you some on fearlessness. And this is from an analysis that I did on 50's book. So again, I read 50's book, The 50th Law. If you haven't got that, pick that up. It's the book that he co-authored with Robert Greene, the author of 48 Laws of Power. But 4 things I'm going to give you. 4 things I'm going to give you. So this is the playbook for calculated momentum. So we're trying to build momentum. We're trying to overcome fearlessness, right? So number 1, reclaim dead time. Reclaim your dead time. What are you doing in those hours and those minutes and those moments where you could be learning, you could be growing, you could be planting a good seed, you could be getting a certification that you can fall back on later on in life. You know, if you have a job where you have a little bit of leeway or luxury, learn something. Learn something in your spare time or when you're on break. A lot of people are using AI the wrong way. When you think about artificial intelligence and AI, we're really supposed to be using AI to get smarter. See, the smart people, they're using AI to get smarter. They're using AI to learn things they already know or compile things that they always wanted to know. A lot of us, we just making flyers, making funny memes. You're supposed to be learning. So you're learning anything you ever thought about learning, we should be learning right now using AI, enhancing the knowledge that we already have. But you got to reclaim that dead time. While somebody sleep, who was it? Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bryant had one of the best workout regimens that anybody ever seen. I know I keep hitting y'all with books, but you got to read Mamba Mentality. You got to read Kobe's book. Because Kobe was in that gym at 5 a.m. Everybody else snoring. They at home count sheep. 5 a.m. he in that gym. He also had one of the most rigorous rehabilitation processes. He did preventative maintenance. Read Mamba Mentality. And it'll tell you about how Kobe Bryant got in those cold tubs and then went from cold to hot, did certain things to rehab and to prevent certain injuries. But he was in that gym at 5 a.m. Mentality. That's what separates the champions from the bench players. But it's always the bench players that make the noise. It's always the bench players that's criticizing or commenting arguing back and forth in comments on social media. It's the bench players. The people that's in the game, the real champions, they sitting back watching, reading the room, thinking about the next play. Another thing it said Kobe Bryant did, Kobe Bryant learned the refs play. He learned the referee rule book. He learned their handbook so he could fill in those dead spots in the game. How many people do that? How many people know the real playbooks? How many people have sat down and really started to understand democracy and went back into the government, started to understand and break down the Constitution, the three branches of government and how they operate and how they're supposed to hold each other accountable? These are the avenues that we go down in AI. This is how we fill in the gaps. Learn those things that you need to learn, Learn them now. All right. So reclaim that dead time. That's how you do that. Second thing, create little empires. Create little empires. I don't want to just use myself as an example, but I'm creating some little empires. They might not all pay me. One day they will. And they pay me in other ways. They pay me in relationships. You gotta create little empires. One example would be my social media group, Black Charlotte Business Coalition. 6,500 people in it, 6,500 professionals in that group. Started with one person, and that was my wife. But now it's 6,500. The mayor, city council, sheriff, firemen, carpenters, landscapers, mechanics, bakers, barbers, preachers, teachers, all of it. And I created that to be a database for people to just do business and collaborate, not to get in people's pocket. I could have turned that into a 501c3 10 years ago. I might need to now, but could have did it a long time ago. But I want a free space. I want a space for people to promote their business and collaborate and learn about events, learn about the ecology of Charlotte. Because I got so much respect for the city of Charlotte. Not being from Charlotte, but being here for, 24 years now. This is my home. My children were born here. And this city has embraced me. And I love Charlotte. So this is one of my seeds I planted. It's a little empire. I'm not worried about numbers. It's about the relationships. There's several other little empires, but you don't tell all your business. See, people think they know you when they see you posting, they see you online, and you seem accessible. You know what I show you or what I tell you. Keep certain things private. Keep the main things the main thing. Gotta learn how to walk and chew gum, but you're gonna have to create some little empires. All right. Number 3, move before you're ready. Move before you're ready. If you keep sitting down saying it's the right time, I'm waiting on the right time. I'm waiting on this to get right. I'm waiting on that to get right. I had a conversation. I remember before I got married, before my wife and I got married, I had a conversation with a family member. Because we had been together 7 years. He's like, yo, what you waiting on? What you waiting on, man? What you gonna do? What you waiting on? I said, man, I'm trying to wait for this right here to get right. Trying to wait for my money to get right. Get another job and want to buy a house and want to do this right here. Want to start a company and all these different things I'm throwing out there. It was excuses. He said, what you waiting on? And he told me this. He told me one thing. He said, yo, once you bring God into the relationship, watch what happens after that. And I promise you, once that happened, and I still can't believe the type of wedding that we had. It was all God, but I had to get out of my head and relinquish that control and stop worrying about my plan. I'm trying to plan everything out. I'm a planner. I'm trying to plan everything out all the way to the outcome. However, it was bigger than me. It was bigger than my plan. This was God's plan. So I had to get out the way. and just do the work and just keep working on me and be prepared. Like they say, when your number get called, when your number's called, be ready. It's so many people with great intentions, great aspirations, but they ain't ready. If somebody call you right now, or just like I just did, I went about $5, $25 in scratch off, scratched every one of them off. None of them were winners. Threw them all in the trash. I'm like, man, look, wasted $25. However, had I won $1 million, I would have been ready. I would have known everything I'm going to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Because I've been preparing for it. I've been tilling the soil. Like that farmer. I ain't digging up the seeds. I'm just putting them in the ground. So you give me that 1 million. Time to water, baby. Let's go. I got 3 little empires. We just got to talking about little empire. I got 3 other little empires I'm waiting to do once $1 million come in. But move before you're ready, right? Can't be potential energy. Got to make that energy kinetic. Movement, right? That's what's going to attract that momentum as you start growing, right? Prepare your field for the rain. See, that's what real farmers know. Real farmers prepare for the drought. They prepare for the rain and the flood season. They preparing for the downfall early. So going into it, I got to make sure my harvest is off to a good start. I got to plant good seeds. I got to get ahead of it. I got to watch the calendar, right? My almanac. We're not playing catch up after the drought, after the flood, because now everybody else looking silly. But now the real farmer, he prepared already. He knew what time it was going to be. He watched the calendar and he was ready for the harvest. Are you ready for your harvest when it comes? Are you doing the right things and moving the right way, preparing yourself in the right way to where you're going to know what to do when it's time, when it's go time, when your number get called? I've been in certain situations where my number get called. They tap me on the shoulder. Hey, it's time to move. Ain't no second guessing. Ain't no reading the manual. It may not be no manual. You got to write it. So move before you're ready. Number 4, and this is, relating to 50 again. So launch a mixtape campaign. And really what they mean by that is just, flood the market, flood the game. This is a part of my mixtape campaign. I'll probably look back at these videos later on and say, man, boy, it was rough. It was rough back in the day. It's my mixtape. I'm throwing this out there just to show you I can rap, just to show you I got flow. I'm talking about spirit though, right? But this is my mixtape. Those 2 books I put out 10 years ago, 11 years ago, those were mixtapes, just to let you know. Get ready. Because when that number get called, it's time to go. So I'm going to leave you with this and let you get back to your Friday. So I appreciate you rocking with me. So this is chess move number 8. So chess move number 8 from Escape from Poverty. I'll leave you with this and let you get to your wonderful weekend. Chess move number 8. Take the time to acknowledge your fears today. Write your fears down on a piece of paper because it will help you start the process of defining them. Once you have defined the fears, it will be easier to identify the desired outcome you wish to achieve. See, people fear what they don't understand. Right? We fear what we don't understand. Once you get that boogeyman a name, start calling him Fred. He ain't scary no more. I'm looking in the closet, it's dark. Can't even see a figure. And my mind is just wandering and making up the beast on its own. But if I start calling him Fred, what you doing in there, Fred? Reveal yourself, Fred. Fred gonna come on out the closet, man. Now I'm gonna dap him up. So I've looked the boogeyman in the eyes several times in life. And that's what we gotta do. Gotta accomplish those fears. So I appreciate you rocking with me. I wish you peace and love. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you go back and watch this playback, chime in, talk to me a little bit, comment in the comment section. And until I see you next week, I'll see you for Mindset Mondays on next Monday. Peace and love.